Grand Cat, and with 19 minutes and 30 seconds left, we are in the last few moments of PCC. We're just waiting for the chat to go live. I'm sure it'll be ready in just a moment. And there we are now to make sure the chat actually works. There it goes. We are live indeed. So we've got the last 20 minutes of PCC going on right now. And as well as doing PCC, so currently we are at rank 3296. As well as doing PCC, we'll also be doing a bit of campaign mode in this very video. Baron says the links are shared, Grandcat. Thank you, Baron. That boy asks, what place are you in? I think it's currently 3290 something. Certainly in the top 10,000 is where we've been trying to keep ourselves. Try and get this AJ Styles card. 3291 at the moment. I've also been using PCC to level up and train some of my cards. Okay, we currently have just over 15 minutes left. Let's take a quick look over here at campaign mode. Okay, so we are allowed to use everything on this one. And this one is all power. So we need to remove all of these equipments. Right, so everything is to power. So male power we can certainly beat easily enough. Female solo power. Rhea Ripley is almost certainly our strongest when it comes to power. Yes, so we need something that is going to give us a lot of power here. This is our next best one, and I think that might be enough. Then we have to do a male tag power at the end there. Okay, let's try that very quickly. So the first one we have to beat is 541, which we easily clear that with Joe Hendry. Then Rhea has to be 539, which we can certainly do if we do this. And then this one we need to be over 1,250,000, which if we use a super move here, hopefully that will be enough. And there we are. That's part one of Great Muta done. And we can claim the second last campaign reward now. It's going to go into his prize boots. Excellent ladder. And Thea Hales. Trying to do all of this quite quickly. So we can combine these Thea Heals. Let me just check that other Thea Heal. Okay, none of them have their variants, that's fine. Actually, I think I will use this one. And we can certainly make her into a fortified 3. And that will be an F3. So these other two Thea Heals are not needed. And of course the ladder we can make into an F3 as well. Right now they've got that out of the way. We're 10 minutes left on PCC. I think we need to get rid of one of these. I'm not actually sure what one it is I need most. I think we'll get rid of them. Okay. We also don't need this Nico Vance anymore. Right, that looks good enough. Okay, let's read the chat. Swords Rage says, "Hello, Mr. Cat. How are you this fine day? Stressed? Have an awful lot going on." Samuel the Sniper says, "How's it going? Stressed? Still very stressed. I've got a hell of a lot to do here today." Taketo says, "Hi, Za. Hello, Taketo. Welcome back. It's good to see you back in WWE Supercard." We're trying to complete campaign mode with a limited amount of time left. We're trying to play PCC. We have also been playing Super Showdown, which we have completed Super Showdown, and we just don't have the time to record the video and upload that. Jamie Williams says hi. Hello, Jamie Williams. Somehow Jamie Williams, by saying hi, managed to get into second place on the leaderboard today. Don't know how that happened. Leaderboards are a mystery. We have 7.5 minutes left. We're also using PCC to try and get super moves, so we can continue in campaign mode. Tony Ross says hi. Hello, Tony Ross. Welcome to this chat. Welcome to the live stream. Sword Rage says, "I got Grind Leagues, currently ranked 25 after PCC ends. Also got to do campaign as well." So there's only 6.5 minutes left on PCC. Then we can be finally done with that. Borderlands says, "Yes, there is indeed a new code, a new redeem code. I put the video up earlier. It is a redeem code. You just type in 'Thank you, Cena.'" Thrasher says, "Hi, Grandcat." Hello, Thrasher. Tony Ross says, "Congrats to everyone that got Cena." George Rage says, "I gotta make sure I stay in Platinum League for next tier." Yes, indeed. It does seem like we'll be getting a new tier very, very soon. I prefer if we stayed on Adventure for a little bit longer. I feel like this entire thing has all been rushed. I think this is the fastest that a tier has ever went up from a new season. We have only had Adventure tier for less than 5 weeks, and we had to scratch and claw our way up from Void through Ignition, through Prize to Adventure, and it seems that Adventure's only going to get 2 event cards, which is the Double Heroic Roman Reigns and this AJ Styles, unless Ilja Dragunov makes a massive comeback in the next 5.5 minutes. Thrash says, "Grand Cat, you should not fortify the Christmas support cards because they give you a 10 times multiplier in the event." I didn't know that. George Rage says, "I wouldn't mind Adventure staying till naughty and nice ends." Yes, I agree. Tony Ross says, "Me too. I would like to stay in this tier." Absolutely. 100% would like to stay on this tier if possible. It is incredibly stressful to try and have to speedrun through campaign mode, but we are doing it. We haven't managed to miss a campaign limited edition card yet. And I'm sure as hell not going to stop here when I'm this close. We are approximately 4.5 minutes away. Well, under 4 minutes now to the end of this PCC. Tacto has a question for me. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. It actually says, "Hey Zad, do you know how much does the last levels in the battle pass? Because I need to buy some with the 1,000 credits I'm going to get." If someone else in the chat can answer that question for me, I would much appreciate it. I just do not have the time at the moment. I am trying to speedrun these last few PCC matches before the event ends. And then afterwards, we'll be playing a little bit of campaign mode. We'll be playing some games of Wild while we need to get some super moves. As I said, I have recorded the beating bosses in campaign mode, but I have not yet uploaded them. I've just not had the time to do so. It's been a very, very busy weekend and a very, very busy week leading up to Christmas. And with this tier ending so soon, it's not making things any easier for big old Grandcat. It seems like we will be getting the new tier on Wednesday. Now, WWE Supercard hasn't mentioned anything about a new tier. I suspect that they are waiting until PCC ends before they announce that, hey, there's a new tier happening very, very soon. Thrasher says the new tier is going to be called Chaos. Okay. I had heard Abyssal. Abyssal tier. There was a rumored one. Chaos is more fitting because it will be freaking chaos. I don't know why they have to have a new tier right before Christmas, leading into New Year, and then it's going to be over before the end of January because they have to make way for the Royal Rumble. Source Rage says it sounds pretty abysmal. Yes. Thrasher says they did the same with Tundra in Season 10. See, I've got a vague memory of Tundra being good, but maybe I'm thinking of Elemental. Because the two do kind of blend together in my mind. They were very, very similar. Okay, I think we're into the last few seconds here. 48 seconds of PCC left. Then we can maybe have a break for 30 seconds. That would be nice. I am so shockingly ready for this PCC to be over. We've had to do so much this weekend. We did the KC Championship this weekend. That's something to look forward to if you are one of the ones that watches our card game videos. Okay, I think that should be PCC about done. The event has now ended. Let's see where we got to. So it looks like our rank was 3,283 by the end. We got 594 wins, and I couldn't see how many losses we got there because it went away too quickly. 594 wins and 59 losses. That is because we were indeed training up a whole bunch of cards. We finally got our China up to our 100 wins. We get to go ahead and detach that. And I think we trained up quite a lot of equipment as well. And we really need to play some wild games with Tatum Paxley, just to try and get her those additional parts. Tony Ross says 2,487. Sora's Rage got 2,948 with 634 wins, 1 loss. Thrasher says, Grandcat, do you have any Trish Stratus from Ultimate Tier? In my opinion, it's her best image. I honestly have no idea. Let me check. Ultimate Tier was a long time ago. Now go to Trish. Trish Stratus. True Toughness. Oh. Trish Stratus. There she is. And Ultimate Tier was a long, long time ago. Oh, it looks like we didn't have the Ultimate Tier. It was a Valentine's Day card. That's why we didn't have her. But yes, that is one of the ones that we are missing. I'm not even sure what that one looks like. And the only one we're allowed to forge is the Ignition Trish Stratus. But yeah, no, we are missing that one. Very interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, let's edit this deck. I think we're probably just going to detach all equipment, honestly. Okay, now we need that Tatum Paxley, and we need someone for her to tag with. Why do you still have that? Oh, because you are in Performance Center. Ah, I see. Right. That's how that works. Do we have anything that needs matches? This Eddie Guerrero. All right, there we are. And let's set these up a little bit better. Okay, that looks good. Okay, Javier, I think that's how you pronounce his name, says, "Hi, the special John Cena card is one per account. I got two." That's contradiction. Thrasher says, Grandcat said, your favorite wrestler is Triple H. What do you think of all the criticism he's been getting lately? That's a very good point. That's actually an excellent talking point. I was thinking about making a video on John Cena's last match, and there has just not been anywhere near enough time. But I thought it was actually a really good match. Now, we are going to spoil it here. I'm hoping that everyone has seen it, or everyone that hasn't seen it doesn't care enough to watch it. But I thought it was a really good ending because John Cena doesn't just tap out, he taps out on his career. He's basically saying, yeah, okay, I'm ready. It's finished now. And you see that he smiles, and he taps on Gunther's arm, and he's got a smile on his face. And the second that Gunther lets go, you see the sudden realization hitting, and you see it all coming down to him, and he's like, oh my god, what have I done? I thought it was a really, really nice way. It was a really good send-off. Put over Gunther. Obviously it was not what a lot of people wanted. A lot of people wanted John Cena to win his last match. People have pointed out Triple H won his last match, Undertaker won his last match, but it's the traditional thing in wrestling to put the next talent over. And Gunther having retired Goldberg is a huge thing for anyone that was around in the 90s. But there's a lot of people that were not around in that time. And Gunther retiring John Cena is a much, much bigger medal to wear on his outfit. And I think that Gunther is going to be the guy to, the one that people are going to go to for eliminations, like to end and retire people's careers from now on. It also puts Gunther over as a mega, mega heel, like the kind of bad guy we haven't seen since the likes of times of when Ivan Koloff defeated Bruno Sammartino in Madison Square Garden. We've not had someone that's that hated for such a long time. And the thing is, there's a lot of people that are the smart marks, the ones that know how the sausage is made. And there's a lot of blame on Triple H because he is the one in charge of the booking and the angle. But I guarantee you that even if Triple H was dead set on this, it wouldn't have happened without John Cena's blessing. John Cena would have certainly had enough creative control to say, that's not how I want my final match to go. I think if John Cena had wanted to win, he would have won. And I think that John Cena, everything about Saturday Night Main Event was all about putting over the future. The thing that I didn't like was Drew McIntyre interfering between Cody Rhodes and Obafemi. Now, it makes sense because you don't want Obafemi to lose. You don't want Cody Rhodes to lose. But if you don't want either of them to lose, then you shouldn't have booked them into that corner, where there has to be some interference. And the thing is, it wasn't Cody Rhodes won by disqualification. It was the match was considered a no contest. So that neither one of them actually lost. So that if they have that match some point in the future, maybe a year from now, maybe 6 months from now, maybe 2 months from now, maybe 2 years from now, then you can say that Obafemi and Cody Rhodes have fought before, but it went to a no contest. So you do have that as well. Jose says, thank you, Cena's new redeem code. Yes, it is. I made a video on it right before this one. It's a short. I would have put it into the actual daily video itself. However, the code was revealed while I was making the video, which is just freaking typical. Big the Cat says, just finished PCC with 987 wins, 0 losses at 1,393. That's very, very impressive, Big the Cat, and I hope that you do find Froggy soon. Takato says, have you ever gotten really mad in a live stream? I think I have. I can't remember what it was about. I certainly have. I am not immune to anger. The big old Grand Cat can get angry sometimes. But I can't think of a time that I was ever so ridiculously angry that I could not continue the stream. I don't think such a thing has ever happened. Swords Rage says, 1 per account from the Rare to Draft board. You can get more than one from PAX rewards and the redeem code, etc. At Javier. Now, if you're talking about... Oh my goodness. If you're talking about the limited edition John Cena, I do indeed have 2 of them. One of them I got off the Rare to Draft board. The other one I got from the pack that was right at the beginning. As you can see, it's limited edition number 72. But if you're talking about the special edition John Cena, which is entirely different, so this is a special edition John Cena, the other one's the limited edition. If that's available off the draft board, I would like to know about it, because as far as I'm aware, this is the only way to get this card, that, and from the redeem code that has a 20% chance, which I didn't get. So I think I'm just not getting that card, which is very, very annoying. Mofer says hi. He says redeem code, thank you, Cena. Yes, the redeem code is thank you, Cena. Again, I have made another video on this. Thrasher says Goldberg literally lost his last match this year. He did indeed, but Goldberg was not famous in the 2020s. He was most famous in the late 1990s, and in the early 2000s. Arguably, he continued a little bit on to the 2010s, but it was few and far between, and it was only really that he had a little bit of a comeback in the 2020s, where I mean the thing is, I think a lot of people know that Goldberg is this big legendary wrestler. I don't think there's that many people that actually watched his matches when he was in WCW. I think that's a thing of older fans, whereas I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that know who John Cena is and actually watched his matches. And that's the difference between Goldberg and John Cena. Goldberg and John Cena, both mega stars of wrestling industry, but John Cena's a lot more recent and a lot more in the mind's eye of the fans. So I think that John Cena actually did the absolute correct way of going out of WWE, having a retirement year, and then getting to the stage where he has a retirement match. And I think that it was done really, really well. Big the Cat says, "It's me, Foxy, on my alt account." Big the Cat says, "The regime code you gave, the regime code gave me nothing." Yes, it gave me nothing as well. It did give me 20 nice tokens, 20 naughty tokens, so I've got that at least, and 500 backstage tokens. But no, I did not get either of the John Cenas. Baron says, "Cena also has the benefit of doing all this during the social media age." Yes, he does indeed. A lot of people, they had big retirements long before social media was a major, major thing. And the thing is, I was talking to some friends about this. I was talking to Baron and Big Boss Man about this. There's probably very few people that know what Hulk Hogan's last match actually looks like. In fact, actually, no one knows what his last match looked like because it wasn't televised. There is phone footage of his second last match that went on the night before, and they say that it was pretty much the exact same match. It was a 3-on-3 match, and Hulk Hogan doesn't even wear wrestling tights, he just wears jeans. And I think Hulk Hogan, when he gets tagged in, he just does a couple of punches. He might do a big boot, I don't remember, but he can't do the leg drop. So what he does is he tags in his other tag partner, and they run to the ropes and they do the leg drop, and Hulk Hogan um, puts his hands out and kind of pushes him down, to make the leg drop even stronger. And that's what gives them the win. And that's Hulk Hogan's last match. So Hulk Hogan, he wrestled far beyond his limits, and he couldn't do the stuff that he could do when he was younger, certainly. And John Cena, he did the leg drop off the top rope. He did the attitude adjustment. He did the avalanche attitude adjustment. He did the STF. He did the attitude adjustment through the table. He did all of these other matches. He did the, they've come back, pushing out of the sleeper hold a couple of times. He took Gunther's biggest moves and still kicked out of them. And I think that it was a really, really good send off. It reminded me of Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. It was supposed to be Ric Flair's retirement, and Ric Flair couldn't keep to that. He went on to wrestle a few more matches in TNA, and then he had that really bad Ric Flair's retirement match where he was dehydrated. Undertaker's last match was the Boneyard, which was real, really good, but it was more of a choreographed video that had a lot of cuts, that had a lot of edits, and it had a lot of special parts in it. There was Undertaker versus AJ Styles, and the Good Brothers were involved as well. It allowed them to do Undertaker's special effects and so on as well. But Undertaker's actual last in-ring match was in Saudi Arabia, and it's where he won some kind of trophy. And there is lots of people that say I have zero recollection of this match. And I am the same. It just felt like it was another Saudi Arabia match, and no one knew that that was going to be Undertaker's last in-ring match. I couldn't even tell you who it was against. I remember the visual of him being down on one knee and holding up the trophy, but I cannot remember anything about that match at all. I mean, there's other matches in Saudi Arabia that I remember. Undertaker versus Goldberg was hideous. Undertaker and Kane versus Shawn Michaels and Triple H, also not a great match. So I think there's a lot of times when people wrestle beyond the point that they are no longer in their prime. And I think that John Cena, a lot of people could argue that he was still in that point where he could still do all of his moves. And I think that was the right point for him to drop out. I think that he did everything that he wanted, and I think that it was the right point. And I think a lot of other wrestlers are looking at that and they're thinking, yes, I would like to have a last match that is a special thing. I mean, the thing is, Kurt Angle's last match was against Baron Corbin, and I mean, he put over Baron Corbin, and why? And Kurt Angle later said in interviews that he was annoyed about that, and that he asked Vince McMahon for his last match to be John Cena. And Vince said, Cena can't do it, we're putting over Baron Corbin instead. And Kurt Angle was like, okay, I suspect that they're going to build Baron Corbin into a big thing and give him this, this big storyline since he's defeated the Olympic hero. And they did nothing with Baron Corbin. And Kurt Angle says that he was really disappointed by it. Also, on that particular night where Baron Corbin had that match against Kurt Angle, John Cena was free. He didn't have any matches and he wasn't booked for anything. So they could have had John Cena versus Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle said that he was quite annoyed about that as well. Let's see here. What else do we have? Benske says, hi, Grandcat. Hello, Benske. Thrasher says, number one in PCC has 92,000 points. That sounds like hell. Well, I mean, you could pay for quadruplers and doublers. So, I mean, if you really, really wanted to, you could just spend a nigh infinite amount of credits and just grind away. I mean, it's still a hell of a grind, but, like getting number one is almost something that you pay for. And honestly, I don't see the point of going for number one when we're getting a new tier in like a couple of days. Big the Cat says, I think this was the most one-sided PCC since it returned. Is it? I mean, I think Miz versus Randy Orton was pretty one-sided. Was it Miz versus Randy Orton? And the next one after that was pretty one-sided as well. Can't remember exactly off the top of my head who they were. But generally, there's one that really, really goes over against the other one. Thrasher says that last Undertaker match was a battle royale. He eliminated AJ Styles to win it. Oh, so it was a battle royale. That's what it was. That's why I couldn't remember who his opponent was. Yes, that sounds a bit familiar now in my head now that you mentioned that. Blacklight says, gotta correct you on this one. The Goldberg match was the last before the Boneyard. I just looked it up because I was curious as well. Yes, I knew Undertaker versus Goldberg was not the last match. That's not what I was referring to. Blacklight says at least for singles matches. Oh, so are you saying that? Oh my goodness, Benske says early Christmas present for you. He's given me £5. Thank you very much, Benske. That is very, very kind of you. I'm going to have to give you a Grand Cat like for that one. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you, Benske. That's really, really nice. Edwin says, hey, it's a Grand Cat. Hello, Edwin. That is very, very nice of you. Very, very cool of you, Benske. Thank you very much for that. That is very, very cool. Now, let's see here. What have we got? We've got toughness and speed to do in this one. Let's try and get through this. I mean, we do only have, let's see here. How much time do we have? 1 day and 19 hours. I don't think we're going to get through campaign mode in this live stream. I think that might be a second live stream, and I'm hoping that we get through it fairly quickly. So what are we going for here? Let's see. This is stage 79. And oh, let's see here. Blacklight says Miz and Bailey had 1 million PCC. Ilya barely cracked 800,000. Ah. Big the Cat says, as a free-to-play player, this event was a grind for 5,515 points for AJ. Yes, it is. Tagato says, my name is also Edwin, and you scared me when you said hello, Edwin. I apologize, Tagato. I did not even know that your name was Edwin. I can imagine how scary that would be if I just like came out and just said, hey, Steve. And it's like, whoa, what the hell? How did you know my real name? I apologize to anyone named Steve that happens to be listening right now. I should just throw that out there on occasion, just like, you know, someone's like an actual name. Just like, hey, John, how's it going? Sort of rage says Steve from Stranger Things. You know what? I've not actually seen Stranger Things. People tell me that it's good and that I should watch it. Haven't got around to it. I hear they're on season 5 though. Bensky says, you're welcome, buddy. Can I say that word? Yes, Bensky, you can say that word. What Bensky is referring to is the word mate in Scotland. It is a friendly term pretty much anywhere else in the world. And it's very, very, very friendly in Australia. You know, g'day, mate, all that kind of such. But in Scotland, when you are getting into an argumentative state and you call someone mate, it can be seen as a very aggressive thing. It doesn't make sense anywhere else on the planet, but in Scotland, and particularly the Scottish people, the friendlier that someone gets, the more closer they are to getting into a fight. It's a really, really strange thing to try and explain to anyone else on the planet. But like you don't see Drew McIntyre do it because he deliberately tries not to do the Scottish anecdote things. But if you've seen other indie Scottish wrestlers, you might have seen it yourself, where you know, like people get very, 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 very friendly with each other right before headbutting each other as such. Baron Ransack Von Joy says, just to circle back, Baron Corbin retiring Angle should have established him as a solid upper mid-carder. Dependable hand, like the role Drew currently has, and they just didn't treat it as such. I completely agree. I think they dropped the ball with Baron Corbin. Blacklight says, also I started to grind today, mostly for the 1,000 coins, but ended up getting ranked 9.4 thousand for now. That's very, very cool. That means that you are also going to get the AJ style so long as you stay in that top 10,000. Big the Cat says, I grinded PCC so much, I have a 75 win streak in 24/7, but stopped claiming it with an hour left to focus on PCC. That is the right call to do. Good, sir. You did exactly the right thing. So, let me try and pay attention to campaign mode for just a second. So we have to win a male speed with 480,000. I feel like we can do that. We have to win a female solo toughness, which has to get over 619,000. That's an awful lot. And then a female solo of speed that has to get over 485,000. So I think if we change this to speed, which already is, and we change this to a ladder, and we just acknowledge that we're going to use the super move on the female toughness, I think. So what is our highest speed? Tiffany Stratton is sitting there at 405,000 in speed. Do we have anything that is higher than that? I don't think so. I think that is most certainly our highest speed. So 405,000, we need to get over 485,000. Okay, let's see what equipment we have that can help with that. So in terms of speed, let's go for this one. That's 492,000, that's more than enough. And we also need to get over 480,000 speed with the first male, which is probably going to be Ethan Page. Do we have anyone else with higher speed? So Ethan Page has 383,000. Penta has 374,000. I don't think anyone else has beaten that, so okay, I think it is going to be Ethan Page. And we're going to put some speed onto him. Now, what is our best speed equipment that we have left? We may have to search for it. It could be the Liv Morgan Daddy Dom vest. Let's see here. That is just over 30,000. This is 26 plus 8. So yes, this one is a little bit faster. Do we have anything else? Okay, let's try this. And we need to put momentum on both of those. Okay, so Ethan Page already has the momentum on him. The other one that we need to put on is... Oh, I see. Is Tiffany Stratton here. Okay. Let's try this then. And then the female solo toughness. Do we have someone with higher toughness? Asuka has 322,000 in toughness. Rhea is 371. Let's put some toughness equipment on her as well. Brings up to 501,000. Let's go in for that, shall we? Oh, someone just said TRD started. I completely forgot the TRD was on. Gara, of the Sand Village. It says, what time will they give the event reward at? I'm not sure, but we will play until that happens, so long as it's not too long. Thrasher says, correction, the last Undertaker match for the trophy was a gauntlet match, not a battle royale, as he entered last and eliminated AJ Styles. Ah, okay, so it was a gauntlet match. Interesting. Part of me thinks that I should go and watch that match again, but also I'm thinking because it's Saudi Arabia and Undertaker was not in the best condition, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just remember Undertaker the way he was when he was in his prime. Tagaru says, the only campaign I completed completely was the one with the British Bulldog because I wanted that dog Winston card. Sword Rage says TRD has started as well, by the way. Excellent. Right, so the first one is speed here. We need to beat 480,000. Ah, we're so close to it. We're at 478,000. That sucks. Okay, and then the female toughness is 619,000, which we're not beating. But the female speed is 485,000. We have 566. So we should 100% be able to beat that. So we use a super move here with Rhea. Then we do win this one. And then 566,000 is enough here. Oh no, I've just seen that the next stage is one of those problem ones. Because this one is all speed. Oh dear. I want to see how close we are to this before we do anything else. Stage 80 looks like it's going to be one of these problems. Whenever it's all speed, that's when it's an issue. Okay, so the first one is male speed, and we have to get over 534,000, which doesn't look like it's happening without using a ladder. Then the next one is female speed. Okay, so if we use a ladder here, that would be fine. Female speed is 539, which we can beat with Tiffany Stratton by herself. And then the last one is 620,000, which, if we use Super Move Rhea, that should allow us to win. Okay, it looks like we've got stage 80 done. We just need to use a ladder on the first match and then a super move on the last one. Okay, so let's go ahead and we need to sort out our deck for Team Ring Domination. So in order to do that, we are going to swap out our female, since females are not used in Ring Domination. We're going to go for our weakest card, which looks like it's going to be the Soul Rooker. And we're also going to swap out our Zelina Vega for Larry. And we're going to swap out this for Tiffy Time. And we are going to keep the strongest cards we have, which I believe is John Cena and the Joe Hendry. It's probably actually two John Cenas. We'll keep them in for just now. And there we are. Let's do a quick game of Team Ring Domination. We'll try and get a super move from here. Thrasher says, all I remember from that show is Goldberg beating The Fiend for the Universal title, which still makes me mad. So it's that pay-per-view, is it? I remember that match all too well, and it was infuriating. I also remember when Kevin Owens lost to Goldberg, and that was also infuriating as well, again, for the Universal Championship. Sora's Rage says, Axiom and Grande Americano to the rescue? Oh no, we're not doing this again, are we? Big the Cat says, just got my PCC reward. Is Volky says, rewards are out? Okay, well, do I have a super move? No, I don't. I'm fairly sure that that's a liar. So we should be able to get the super moves in... No, not super moves. We should be able to get the rewards in just a second then. Also, for everyone in the chat that isn't aware, there is a new redeem code out. If you go to the wsupercard.com/redeem and you type in "Thank you, Cena," it will give you a whole bunch of rewards. Seether says, morning, Grandcat. Hope you're well. I am doing well. It's 10:34 p.m. here in the home of the Grandcat. So it's not exactly morning for me, but I hope you're having a wonderful morning, Seether. Thank you for coming along to the stream. We could get a perfect game here. But nope, unfortunately, Boogeyman has ruined it for us by losing to Angel Garza. Typical Boogeyman behavior. And the game has crashed. There we go. Never seen the game do that before. Let's go ahead and dust those. Bensky says, hope everyone's liked the video. Yes, I also hope that. There is at least 40 members of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet in the chat right now. If each of you could like this video, it would help tremendously. Also, if there's any new members, if you could click that subscribe button, it does all help significantly. Thrasher says, AJ Styles is amazing, but in my opinion, Ilja should have won the PCC. I also really wanted the Ilja image with the United States Championship. Seether says, good call, Bensky. Let's go ahead and see if our PCC rewards are here. There they are. That is them. So let's go ahead and screenshot this. We got rank 3,280 with 3,140 personal points, which gives us a rare to draft pick and 1,000 credits. And here is the actual one. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that one of the AJ Styles himself. And there he is. Number 3,280 is the phenomenal AJ Styles. Punk versus Pod says Ilja was robbed. I hope that we really get that Ilja image with the United States Championship over his shoulder. That is something that I would really like to see at some point in the future. Oh, we've got an entirely black screen here. I wonder if we'll get the John Cena towel. That's not the John Cena towel, that is an Asuka. It's a prize Asuka. And we are going to dust that Asuka. We do not need that prize card. And now let's go ahead and level up our AJ Styles. There he is, with the tag title over his shoulder. But we do have a couple of other images. Example, this one with the original world title over the shoulder, or we also have the Portrait Pack 1, which is a little bit later on, with the world title over the other shoulder. I think this one actually looks better because on this shoulder, it's on the opposite side to the number. I think that actually looks better. I think I'm actually going to keep that one on. I know it's not what we're supposed to do, but let's go ahead and go into the Performance Center here. Oh, actually, let's go into Reward Mania just a second. Yes, we'll put in 6 of these here. What's the next rewards? Oh, the next one's going to be Rhea Ripley. It's going to be Joe Hendry and the Ron Cena. Now, I still only have one Ron Cena, so if we could get that second Ron Cena, that would be cool to have that nice little pro. There used to be sound effects for this. Like, it used to go... Mwong, mwong, but, like, they've removed that sound effect for some reason. I don't know why they've done that. Let's go into the Performance Center, and we will level up our phenomenal one, AJ Styles. And we are just going to go ahead and use this Maurice. Big the Cat says, my Styles 3 stats, the Rock Battle Pass. I don't know what that means. And there we are, that is AJ Styles done. If we go to General. So AJ Styles is down here at the moment because he currently does not have his 100 matches or his variants. We are going to give him something that needs matches. And I think we're going to give him this t-shirt. And then we're also going to put him in the Performance Center and we're going to get him his 100 matches. And just to help out the team a little bit later on, we're going to swap out one of these John Cena's for that AJ Styles. There he is. Because we will need to drop from Adventure tier down to Prize tier the second that we finish Rhea Ripley. And that will help the team a little bit later on. Sword Rage says, I was hoping that the middle reward for the Rhea Reward Mania was going to be a Penta instead of a Joe Hendry. I'd have actually really liked to see the John Cena, the Last Time Is Now version, on there. But it seems we are not getting that one. Let's start with the Rock up here. Okay, LA Knight can win that one. Punk versus Pod says, my rank is 3,902. You're very, very close to the Grand Cat's rank. We'll have Roman Reigns win that victory once more. And we can't get a perfect game anymore, so we're just going to end with John Cena. Big the Cat says, my final rank was 1,392. Thrasher says, I got rank in the 1600s. How was the 1600s? I hear it was good. Good times. Got an Eon guitar there. We're going to go ahead and dust all of them. And now to make ring domination a little bit easier for us, what we're going to do, we're going to go into our draft board. And you can see here we've got 22 picks to choose from. But if we remove a whole bunch of these and we get down to only 10, it means we've got a much easier time of getting the next shard. Sword's Rage says 2,948 was my rank. Once again, my rank was 3,280 for the AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. The phenomenal forearm, as he was once introduced. Oh, there's that limited edition Gunther that I am looking for. That is what I am trying to get. Jordan Scotland says 3,384 for me. And that's where the Grand Cat is from. From Jordan. No, I'm kidding. I'm from Scotland. I think there actually is a place called Jordan. Someone can let me know in the comments if that is correct. I think it's maybe Australia. Oh, One Drip says I got rank 645. That is very, very high up. Benske says 1,145 for me. Scotland says, I think it's in the Middle East. Sword Rage says, there is indeed a place called Jordan. Takato says, my PCC rewards. I don't know if you got them. Yes, we did. We just got them just now. Now, John Cena could easily win this match if I wanted, but as we can't get a perfect game because of Sean Spears up in the top left corner, we're just going to go ahead and take that victory. Okay, nice. We've got another shard. And we shall dust those. So in my team, the team of the Grand Cat, which extends to both Soul World Order and the Grand Cat NXT, we have a rule that if you are captain rank or above, and you got any PvP card, or if you got a heroic in the previous event, or if it's a flash event, it has to be a double heroic, then your requirements are halved. So generally the requirements are you need to get 10 shards, but they are half for me because I got this AJ Styles, so I only need to get myself 5 shards, and we've already got 2 shards already. So we are very, very close to finishing the minimum requirement that we need for Team Ring Domination. That does not necessarily mean that I'm going to stop there. Goodness. It just means that I can stop there without having to worry about a demotion. Okay, that is good. We'll take those. We'll dust those. Oh, this might be my AJ Styles. I'm going to throw him in over here. Okay, I can only attack that with the Rock or Roman Reigns, so I'm going to use the Rock here. Thrasher says, Grand Cat, why would you get demoted in your own team? Because even the Grand Cat is not outside of the rules. I hold myself to the same standards as everyone else. I am not one of these team owners that expects everyone else to do the work. No, I consider myself to be a player as well. I would not ask anyone to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. I think that is a good philosophy to have in life. Not just when it comes to WWE Supercard, but when it comes to anything. When it comes to my job or anything online, I would never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. GTP Euro says, "Hello, Mr. Grandcat. How are you? I am good. I just got myself the AJ Styles, which I am very, very pleased with. And we are now up on 3 shards. Ioska is up on 11. Ioska going for that victory, that championship once again. Ioska is a very, very strong player. Okay, that is all we have. JTP says, "Lucky I went for Dragunov, but gave up when I saw AJ was winning by a landslide." That really surprised me because I thought that people would be more likely to go for Ilja because Ilja's made a return. He's back, he's new, he's putting on incredible matches. But it seems that people consider AJ Styles to be a bigger star at the moment than what Ilja is. Maybe it's also because AJ Styles has announced that he's retiring next year that there's more emphasis on AJ Styles than there is on Ilja. I mean, the thing is, AJ Styles has been a main eventer. Ilja has currently not yet reached that level in Raw or SmackDown. He has been at that level in NXT UK and on NXT, but currently people might consider Ilja to be more of a mid-carder, which I would argue, because I could possibly see Ilja and Gunther main eventing a WrestleMania some point in the future. I could certainly see that happening for a World Championship. JDP says that honestly, I like the Ilja image better than AJ. I agree. I also really want that image, and I really hope they give it to us. Cedar says PCC reward finally received. Was ranked 6001 when I went to bed last night, but woke up to 8089. Not much I could have done to not lose ranks, really. Benske says, I'm gutted it wasn't Ilja, to be honest. I really, really hope that over here in the store that there is some kind of portrait pack or something that we can get that includes the missing Ilja image that came from this PCC, because that is something that I really, really like to have. And also I'm hoping that as Grandcat is a loud YouTuber, can get the attention of some of the people that work at W Supercard and can maybe get that changed or get that made. And of course, they are more likely to listen to me the more subscribers I have. So if you have not yet clicked that subscriber button, you could please do so. It helps me get things changed in W Supercard. And after all, there's a lot of things that I would like to be changed in WWE Supercard. And on occasion, they do listen to Grandcat. JT says, can you also, can you either call me JT or Pyro? You don't have to say the full name. Oh, it's JT Pyro. I thought it was JTP Euro. But yes, it's JT Pyro. Okay, I see. Thank you for clarifying what your name is. I will call you JT from now on. Cedar says, lights out for one. Yes, please fix lights out in some manner or another. Make it so that it's not so disgustingly expensive. Make it so that it doesn't take so freaking long. Or make it so that it doesn't fill up my entire space with garbage cards that I don't care about. Any of those would be good. Sora's Rage says, at least update those cards. Yes. I wouldn't mind see if instead of being regular cards, if it was some kind of special edition cards. That would be cool. Like older special edition cards. That'd be really, really nice. Jordan says, I need the nice support from Lights Out, but it just doesn't drop. I'm exactly the same. I am in the exact same position as you. That's the only thing that I'm missing from Lights Out. I even got the Peyton Royce earlier today, and still have not got that nice adventure toys. Who is it again? Is it Dragon Lee? Is there Dragon Lee, Rocking Horse? I think maybe Dragon Lee. Swords Race says Peyton Royce. Did I just say Peyton Royce again? Why do I keep calling Roxanne Perez Peyton Royce? What is up with me today? That's a spoiler for anyone that hasn't watched the video earlier today. I for some reason kept calling Roxanne Perez Peyton Royce. I don't know why. I have no idea what's up with me. Grandcat is going mildly insane. Let's play another couple of games of Wild. We'll try and get another super move up. Hi, Conics! JT says, I want Peyton Royce and Billy Kay back. Yes! I really, really liked the Iconics. I don't know why WWE let them go. I don't know why WWE split them up. That was a stupid move. But I genuinely think the Iconics was one of the greatest women's tag teams, not just in WWE, but in freaking wrestling history. I mean, how many other incredible female tag teams can you realistically think up? I mean, there's points where there's two good superstars that are together. Like, I like Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Them two are really good. I like Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, but they're not a tag team. You know, they didn't start out as a tag team. Kabuki Warriors, I mean, sort of. I can understand why you would say that. But I really think that Asuka and Kairi Sane established themselves as single superstars. And, you know, they're, even if they did start out as a tag team, they evolved from that into single stars. I mean, when I think of tag teams, I think of the likes of Demolition, or the Legion of Doom, or the Hardys, or the Dudley Boys, or Edge and Christian. And sure, Jeff Hardy went on to have his own singles career. Edge went on to have a massive singles career. Christian went on to have a massive singles career. You know, the likes of this. But the Iconics, Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, really just stand out as they were the tag team. Do you know, this is a very cool thing actually, I'm going to say. Chelsea Green almost joined WWE way before she joined properly. And she was going to be the third member of the Iconics, and they had actually trademarked the name Triconics. And I was thinking, oh my god, why did they not do that? Triconics! With Chelsea Green alongside Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. I'm like, oh my god. Swords Rage says you could say that they were iconic. Yes, you could say exactly that. Jordan says that would have been great. Yes. Triconics. There's also, and I cannot find this image anywhere. If someone could find it for me and link it to my Discord, I would really, really appreciate it. But there was a unreleased T-shirt for one of the WrestleManias where The Undertaker wanted to have every part of him. He wanted to be the old school dead man. He wanted to be the American Badass. He wanted to be Mark Calloway. He wanted to have everything. And there was an unreleased T-shirt that looked really, really cool. That was almost like a gimmick for him, where Undertaker was wearing the long black hat. He was wearing the big black hat, the long black coat, but he opens up the coat on the T-shirt, and on the inside of the coat is the American flag, and underneath the coat, he's wearing the American Badass outfit, but he's wearing the big leather trench coat and the Undertaker hat on top of it, and it's just the epitome of all the parts of Undertaker's character all in one thing. And it's one of those things that I really, really wanted them to do that, and they just never released it. The image was leaked somewhere, and I've never been able to find the image since, but it looked really, really cool. Another thing that was leaked that was trademarked that never happened was there was going to be a John Cena heel run in the mid 2010s that again never happened. And John Cena's heel run was going to be called Say My Name. And the whole idea was that John Cena wouldn't just be satisfied with beating someone, that he, after the match, would continue to beat them up and he would demand that they say his name. Now, this is before the whole. I mean, maybe Joe Hendry was still doing stuff in Scotland, with the say his name and all that kind of stuff. But I think this was before that whole point, and John Cena was trying to make it a thing of like essentially trying to make people submit to him, be subservient to him, like say my name, say it, and it's like they're like John Cena. And it's like, yeah, that's right. JT says John Hendry. I'm pretty sure I said Joe Hendry. I think I maybe just said it with a bit of an accent. I don't think I said John Hendry. Oh, you mean John Cena doing Joe Hendry? Ah, I see. I understand the joke now. Grand Cat was, I believe in John Hendry. It's ridiculous. So we are at 72% of our super meter. If we can get this up to 100%, we can do another match in campaign mode. What was that about? The big white line down the side of Sami Zayn there? Never seen that before. Sword Rage saying John Hendry debut at Royal Rumble confirmed now. Actually, hilariously, people really want to see Edge make a return to face John Cena during his final run, and it never happened. But AEW do have a relationship going on, and they're doing a crossover with DC Comics, and DC Comics happens to include Peacemaker, and people have rumored John Cena's retired, but Peacemaker might have a match against Adam Copeland on AEW, which would be the most ridiculous thing ever. JT says, see, John Cena may be retired, but John Hendry is on the table. Cena says, I hate when you're cleaning off the draft board for ring domination picks and you get a reset when you don't want it. Yes, it's very, very annoying. How many matches are we away from finishing? We are on stage 80, and there's 84 stages. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 matches, and we are done with campaign mode. JT says, I got the Cena towel, but not Cena, sadly. I have 2 of the John Cena, but no towel. So we are in the exact opposite positions. Sword Rage says, even worse when you get like 2 or 3 resets on a nearly full draft board too. Yes, because anytime that happens to me, I'm thinking, God, if I just went for the shards, I had like 4 or 5 shards there. Sword Rage says, I'm on the hunt for the towel still as well. Yes, I cannot find that towel. That's the South Park reference for anyone that didn't understand that. Looks like we're very close to getting that super move done now. Let's try getting rid of some of these, shall we? Dag, damn it. That is exactly what we were just talking about. So Rage says, I'll have like 9 or 10 tries at it from the stubs, then from 30, then 30 from rare draft picks from those packs. JT says, I got my towel on the rare draft board if I remember correctly. Yes, actually I was next to Big Boss Man when he got his towel. So I have seen it pulled off of the rare draft board. And interestingly, it doesn't have a special... It doesn't have a special animation, the same way that the John Cena limited edition card does. You know, I have had a theory for a little while now that these limited edition cards, that they use them just to see how many active players are still playing W Supercard. Because if they give out like 10,000 John Cena cards, then that means that there is at least 10,000 active players in the game. Well, not necessarily, because there'll obviously be quite a few players like me that have more than one. But I think it's just an indicator just to see how many players they've got that are actually playing, not just playing, but playing enough to get multiple rare draft boards to try and get the John Cena. I think that may be why they're numbered as well. Now, we do have the super move. So, if I remember correctly, I believe we're using the ladder first. So we need to beat 5, 3, 4, which we can do if we do this. Then we have the female solo, which is 5, 3, 9. Which we can beat because we're at 5, 6, 6. And then we need to beat 6, 2, 0, which we should be able to beat if we use a super move. That puts us to 7, 4, 8. And that is enough for us to beat Lola Vice and get the 3 stars there. Okay, so we are getting closer. We only have 3 more to go, and then we're on the boss, the Great Muta himself. We also still have to go through Solus Koa, but we're only allowed to use up arrows, which is a major problem, and this one is all speed. And from what I remember, let's see how difficult this one is. This is stage 63. So it's a male tag speed, a female solo speed, and then a male solo speed. So the female solo speed has to be over 492,000. The male solo speed has to be over 586,000. And the male tag has to be over 1 million. Okay, that's pretty difficult. And these are the best we've got in terms of speed. Okay. So we would have to use the Maxine Dupree here. And we would need to take the we need to take the equipment off the other cards. I wonder how close we are to being able to do this. So in terms of speed, that's 402. We need to get to 492. Even put the... So we've got 50 as well, so that's 455,000 roughly, close to 456. So we're still about 40,000 speed away. And then our next highest speed is probably Eddie Guerrero. I really don't know how I'm going to do that much. I think I maybe just need slightly better equipment. Like, we haven't managed to pull any adventurer boots yet. And basically says, how much longer are you streaming for as a Grand Cat? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I didn't actually expect to be streaming this long. So, I guess we are just going as long as we feel. Do we have anything here that gives us a large amount of speed? I keep looking at this mouth guard, and the mouth guard is tempting. Because that would give us 95,000, which means that we would go up to... Let's just put some momentum on these cards. Let's see how close we are. I need to see this visually. Okay, so currently, if we were to use the ladder, that's still nowhere near enough. We're about 50,000 off. And then this is the closest one we've got here, which we're about 20,000 off. And then this one we realistically have no chance. Like, that's where we would need to use the super move. So we need to get about another 50,000 to win that one. But we didn't have any equipment on the other card. We need to somehow get another 23,000 on there. And that one we just really need to use the super move on. If anyone has any suggestions, I would love to hear them. And that was with the pulling off the frog splash there as well. So he says Axiom and El Grande. Well, in terms of up arrows, I have Dragon Lee, Berto, Papa Shango, Joaquin Wild, and Terry Funk. But no Axiom nor Dragon Lees. I do have a silver starred El Grande Americano and a silver starred Axiom that are not helping in any manner whatsoever here. Alright, what if we re-roll this? That was so close. You need it into speed. Okay, that's perfect. Alright, that's not the best, but certainly a lot better than it was before. Okay, now let's try this. Even with this, I don't think it's even possible for us to win both matches or win either match without using the ladder. Even if we did get off the Frog Splash, that wouldn't be enough. If we do that, that's more than enough. So yeah, even if we got another 98,000, that still wouldn't be enough to get through because, or another 95,000. Let's see, how close would we be? I need to do some math here. So we're at 878, 503 plus 95,000. So we'd be to 973503. Which is still a decent amount off. What is Crew's ability like? Could you swap the equipment? Maybe. That's not a bad idea. So let's see here. This is 14,230 to speed. This is only 7,720 to speed. So no, it actually works out better the other way. Is there any females that's up arrow with better speed? Soldrika is down arrow. Yes, that is correct. Oh my god, I just thought of something. No, Soldrika is definitely down arrow. Even Blake Monroe wouldn't help because speed is actually her weakest stat. Izzy Dame doesn't help. Lola Vice doesn't help that much. I mean, Maxine Dupree's highest stat is in speed, and she's also got the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, without having adventurer boots, it's really, really nigh impossible, it feels. Anyone else that's completed this match in campaign mode, let me know how you did it, because I really am not seeing how. Just occurred to me. What if I do this? Is that enough? Okay, we need to wait for the chat to disappear. So this is 485 and 480, which is also still not enough. And even if she does get off her super, or her finisher, I don't think it's enough. And then that one we would definitely need to the super move on anyway. So I mean, even if we got off the finisher of Eddie and Cruz del Toro, that still wouldn't be enough to win there. If we got 102,000 on here, 384, 769 plus 102, 2,000 would be 486969, which is not enough to beat 492. Damn. So it seems like it's not possible to win either of these without using the ladder. Swords Rage says, maybe if you momentum Maxine... Do we not have momentum on Maxine? Have I been doing this without momentum on Maxine? Are you serious? No, we've got the momentum on Maxine. Right. Where am I on this leaderboard? 20. Okay. So long as I'm not in the bottom 5, that's all that matters. I mean, this is an F1 adventurer manager, Bobby Heenan. And this is... Oh my god, we haven't leveled up the ladder. I don't think leveling up the ladder helps, but let's go ahead and do it. Alright. I feel like that didn't help. $405,000. What if I do this? Okay, so we know we need to use the ladder on one of these. So this is 479. We need to beat 492. $479 plus 11. All right, calculator time once again. So this is 479, 7,000. Plus 1117. That's 490,870, which is literally 2,000 points away. That might be enough. We may be able to do this in the weirdest way possible. We're still a long way away from our super move, of course. But we could have the math here for beating Solo Score. So this is currently 483.7. Plus 11.17. This is to 494.87, which should beat Bailey. Then, of course, we use a lot of there, we win there, and then if we use super move on that one, then we win that one, and then we can beat Solo Score. So all we need now is a super move and to get off that finisher. Thank goodness for that. Wow. Okay, I'm going to stop there and let's go into Team Ring Domination. I'm not actually sure how many shards I've got. I have lost track of that. I know for a fact I don't have a super move. Don't you lie to me. We have a lot of right arrows. I see this says you're on 4 shards, Grand Cat. Thank you for that. We need to get one more shard. Russell Drory says, did you redeem? Thank you, Cena. I did indeed. I made a video about it. Thank you for reminding everyone. There is indeed a new redeem code. If you type in thank you, Cena, it's going to give you a whole bunch of rewards. Oh, and the very last one. Alright, there we go. I've at least hit my minimum. I will continue to play if I see the opportunity to do so. Let's keep playing for a little bit here and try and get the next super move and see if we can beat Solo Sequoia in this stream. JT says I got freaking Santos Escobar diet. It just occurred to me, I should probably be training up my AJ Styles. That makes sense to have him here. Let's take a look at the chat. Sword Rage says, I can't remember which stage it was. I was trying to do something similar with a 40% proc chance rate. It took 20 games for a proc. And that there is a perfect example of why when you see these packs that say you've got 20% chance at them, you should always ignore them on W Supercard, because the chances of getting something like that are seem a lot lower than what they should be. JT says, me testing codes yesterday, thank you, Cena, thinking it would be sick if I got one to work. Sword of Rage, love when the pack in Team Ring nomination is a rare to draft pick. JT says, got freaking Santos Escobar. Sword Rage says, quick queue up Carlito saying Santos Escobar. And Hanelode says, hi. Hello, Hanelode. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Handy Lodi says, do you have Twitch? I do, but I rarely use it. I use it only for live streaming computer games. Speaking of which, I will be live streaming some sort of computer game, I don't know which, this year, for New Year. It could be anything, we don't know which. It might be Yakuza, might be Like a Dragon. Maybe it'll be Mortal Kombat. Maybe he'll be Sonic again. I don't know. I haven't decided. But there is a link to my Twitch in the description of this video. At least hopefully there is. I'm waiting for someone to come on the stream and see my AJ Styles and be like, yo, hang on, how come yours has the world title instead of the tag title? Just because I switched the image to a different title image. You know, I'm really, really hoping that we don't get a new tier in like 2 days' time. It's less than 2 days' time. It's like a day and a half. Because I really think there's so many people that don't even have a full adventure tier deck yet. I mean, I know that I do, but I think there is quite a lot of people out there that don't. Hanelodi says hi. Hello, Hanelodi. Again. I am hoping that you can actually hear me and that the sound hasn't went out for some reason. That would be atrocious. JT says, well, we do have a mystery reward, so my guess is that we're going to get a new tier, even though I want to stay on this one a bit longer. Caesar says, loud and clear. Yes, the daily streak this week is a mystery reward, which generally means it's something from the new tier. Once again, if you are new to the channel, if you could click that subscribe button, it really helps a lot more than what you think it does. It allows me to do a lot more, allows me to give away things, it allows me to make suggestions to W Supercard, suggestions on behalf of all of you. I am the cat of the catless. See, there says, for some reason, my campaign is saying 4 days and 15 hours, but I know that's not right. The way to check is to see how long is left on the battle pass. And that will give you the real number as to how many days and hours are left in campaign. Okay, we do have the super move now, so that's good. That means that we can now go and try our luck at Solo Sokoa. If we can get that Solo Sokoa done, that will be a huge obstacle out of the way. See, this says, I just wish that we could get basic things like that right. One thing that I wanted for a long, long time is the ability to turn off animations, just to make things a lot faster, so that we don't need to sit here and wait through the animations every single time. I'm really, really glad that WWE Supercard listened to me about the little win and loss things that would come up at the end, that you could turn those on and off. JD says, I wish I'd gotten the Tatum Paxley. It looks so cool. It is. It's a very, very nice card. There she is. JT says, and I wish Tatum was still NXT Women's Champion. I thought it was a really weird decision to give the title back to JC Jane. Sword Rage says, my campaign says like 25 days. So if I go over here to campaign mode, you'll see that it says there's 1 day and 18 hours left. And if I go over here and check the battle pass, it says there's 1 day and 20 hours left. So when the battle pass ends, that's also when the tier is ending and when we will get the new tier, which means also when campaign will end. So now that we have this super move, let's go and try and take on Solo Sokoa. So we use the ladder on these two, because we're not winning that without using the ladder. And then we're just relying on Tiffany Stratton to hit off the prettiest moonsault ever, which she didn't. Could be here for a while, folks. And then once we do that, then we should be able to win this last one using a super move. Just need to keep reminding myself that I need to use the ladder. Hannah Lodi says, is there any prize? Do you mean for today's stream? I don't think so. I was just making sure that I hadn't mentioned that there was a prize somewhere in the video. No. Sometimes when I'm doing a live stream there is, but not tonight, not for this little video. There may be a live stream at some point over Christmas or New Year where we'll be doing a bit of a giveaway. A little festive giveaway. We shall see. I haven't decided. I haven't made up my mind. Hannah Lodi says hi. Hello, Hannah Lodi, again. Larry Mertz says hi. Hello, Larry Mertz. So for anyone that's just joined the stream, what we're doing is we're just trying to ram our heads against a wall until the wall breaks. And what I mean by that is we are literally just playing until Tiffany Stratton gets off the prettiest moonsault ever, then she should win, and then we can use the super move to win the last match. And it is apparently a 20% chance of a trigger. So if anyone wanted to know... JT says, bro, my code idea got censored. It can be censored for any number of reasons. If it's too repetitive, or if it is considered to be spam, or if it is considered to be anything vulgar. So if it's anything like that, that's maybe why your comment got censored. So if anyone wants to know how rare a 20% pull rate is, this is exactly what we're trying to go for here. So JD says, I just said it to reference the Cena chant of Let's Go Cena and Cena sucks. And yes, probably because it used the word sucks in there, they consider it to be like, oh, no, can't go like using that. So that's probably why it was censored. Although I'm surprised that one managed to get through, so that's pretty cool. It is not me that censors it, is YouTube itself. It is part of the artificial intelligence program. It's generally to stop streamers from getting inundated by spam or bots or anything like that, which has done a fairly good job of keeping them out of my streams. Again, no prettiest moonsault ever. At least I have some wonderful Grand Cat Grand Fleet members to talk to while I'm doing this, that I am not just sitting here by myself going crazy. So I do appreciate all of you being here in my little live stream. I'm well aware there's a lot of you that watch this on your Xbox or some way that you can't actually comment, and I acknowledge each and every one of you as well. I appreciate you all being here and watching this little stream. Oh my god, we finally got it. Holy crap. And 774,000 should be enough. See, this says, don't forget to use your super move now. Yes, that would be dire if I forgot that. And there we go, Solo Sikoa has been defeated. Which means that we are now underway for completing campaign mode, now that we've finally got this out of the way. That was a particularly difficult match. And now we are literally only 4 games away from getting Gunther. See, this says, I think I will struggle with that level unless I get lucky. Well, that's pretty much what I had to do. I had to just get lucky with that one. So this next one here is Power, Speed, and Charisma. And let's take a quick look at it. It's stage 81, which is a male tag of Charisma, which I could probably do with The Rock and John Cena. Then it is a female solo Speed. And then it's a female solo Power. Interesting. Let's see how close we can get right here. So this one is Speed. This one is Power. And then tag charisma. And the male tag charisma comes first. So what if we were to do this? And we put the highest charisma that we possibly have on John Cena. In fact, actually, there's a specific John Cena microphone here. Okay, so that puts up to 470,000. Can we get higher than that? Oh yeah, 550,000. Yes. Okay, now let's put momentum on all of them. We might be able to do this one without a super. So Cena, Rhea, and Rock. And also Joe Hendry just for fun. Okay, now the opponent is also doing charisma to deck. So let's see here. We need to beat 485,000 in speed, which we do. We need to beat 493,000 in power, but we're going to get a table thrown at us. It's going to do 76,000. So that Rhea Ripley will be enough there. And if we change this to charisma, this is a 20% chance of triggering. Let's try it. Let's see if we can get lucky. So we need to beat 1.2 million. I think that's actually enough. If The Rock gets off the People's Championship as well, the People's Elbow, that would also be good. Okay, so that's more than enough. And then speed. And then this is 494, but we're going to get a table thrown at us. If it wasn't for that table, then that would be enough. But now, what if we don't rely on the People's Elbow? We swap this out to something that just gives charisma? Then how does that go for us? Would this be enough? Okay, so we win that one. And then speed. And then power. 502,000. Does beat 492 or 493. Cool. Okay, we managed to do that one without having to use a super move. Now we're only 3 games away from getting Gunther. This is going a lot better than I expected. So this one's all power and toughness. So our first match is a female tag of power. Then it's a male solo power. And then a male tag of toughness. Alright, we might need a super move for this one, because this one looks a little bit tougher. So the female tag power, we need to get over 1,198,000. Which means we realistically need both females to be at about 550,000 points. 543. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so we need something that is right arrow and has a lot of power, which is probably going to be Stephanie Vacour, who needs her boom variants. How close are we with that? If we do like 3 games of boom with Stephanie Vacour, could we do it? Maybe. JT says, I used to be a boom hater, not gonna lie. I actually put up a really good tutorial on how to play boom, and I was regularly playing boom a lot on camera. So hopefully those little videos do help. So winning that female tag power seems to be the main thing. Then the male solo we can win with Joe Hendry. And then the male tag, we need to beat 1,232,000 in toughness, which is a huge ask. Kieran says, does The Rock boost himself with the ability boost when he procs? He does indeed. He boosts himself and everyone else in the deck. So it's really good when he comes first, because then you can use that to get the rest of them. So this is stage 82. Stage 83 is male solo power, then female tag toughness, then male tag charisma. And then the last match is male tag power, female tag charisma, and then male tag power again. And that third game you do need to use a super move in order to beat the Great Muta, because it's 2.1 million that you need to beat. So that is quite a lot that it's asking for from you there. So I think we're really good. Kieran says, even with the ability equipment, because I tried it and it didn't seem to boost himself unless it was bugged, it 100% should boost himself. So I don't know what's happened there with you. Remember that The Rock does have a low trigger rate of getting off the people's elbow, so you do need to wait for it to actually activate, which sucks. But yes. Well, we are only 3 games away from completing the Great Muta and getting this final campaign reward, which 460 people have managed to get Gunther already. I'm going to try and join them, because there is only 1 day and 18 hours left to get that Gunther, and then, presumably, it seems like we'll be getting a new tier. And it is also almost midnight here in the home of the Grand Cap. I can show you. It is 11:58 PM, and I think I might try and go for a snooze. So I've done everything on ring domination. PCC is finished. We got our AJ Styles, the phenomenal AJ Styles. Oh, Kieran says, I'm from Scotland as well. Oh, wonderful, Kieran. That's very, very cool. I am from Glasgow. Glasgow is home of the Grand Cat. It's always nice to meet a fellow member of the Grand Cat Grand Fleet from Scotland. Caesar says, it's not that many that have campaign reward, especially if there's a new tier around the corner. I feel they have rushed this first part of the season. I completely agree. We have only been in this new season for 5 weeks. Oh, Kieran says, I live in Glasgow also. Oh, very nice. It's very interesting that we've managed to find each other on this huge, gigantic platform called YouTube as two big old cats hailing from Glasgow. So, it is now approaching midnight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this a little bit more. I don't know if I'm going to finish campaign mode tonight or if it's going to happen at some point tomorrow. But I think we are underway for completing campaign mode before the new tier happens. So, once again, to everyone that is in the stream, I want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to each and every single one of you. If any of you are new, please do click that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot more than what you think it does. Please click that like button. It does help share the video that uses the AI algorithm. It does promote videos that have a lot more likes on them. So that does certainly help. And of course, comments obviously help quite a lot as well. So with all of that said, Caesar says, you are amazing and close. I'm just about to complete 75, but have to do the solo match too. The solo match was the thing that was really holding me back. Similar to the last campaign mode, it was the Braun Breaker boss match that was holding me back, because that one was all speed as well. But now, I think it is now midnight, I'm going to do the outro, and then I'm going to see if I want to go for a snooze, or if I want to try and stay awake and grind at this a bit more. I never can tell exactly what it is I'm going to do. Maybe there'll be another live stream going up in a couple of hours, maybe like 2 or 3 a.m. And, you know, we'll be underway to complete Great Muta. Or maybe I'll get a good few hours sleep and it'll be tomorrow morning that we might see Great Muta on campaign mode getting defeated. But with that said, folks, that is now going to be it for this little video, and I really hope you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video.